Welcome back to Value Cars Australia with me, Dmitry, everyone. And today we're following Ilya from Klubniy Servis Moscow as they do what they do best, better than anyone else, as they disassemble Suzuki Jimny 2020 model. It's a slightly outdated video that I'm translating here, but this model of the vehicle is still very relevant to the present day and age of 2023, and we will see, as always, them lift the body of the vehicle off the frame of the vehicle, show us the suspension, the underbelly, the petrol tank, the fuel pump, all sorts of things, including the engine and other kind of things that any Suzuki Jimny enthusiast will probably appreciate. And I very much welcome your additions, your opinions. Which version of Suzuki Jimny do you own? Talk to me in the comments down below as always, and otherwise just enjoy the craftsmanship and the handiwork of amazing people of Klubniy Servis as they do what other channels certainly don't do. So give the video a like if you enjoy this and want more disassembly videos from me. That helps me prioritize the content that I prepare and publish in future. Let's enjoy the disassembly. Let me start by saying that when we see Ilya trying to fit into this baby off-roader and rocking it from side to side like this Russian bear of a man, this alone would make even the most cynical of my viewers out there smile, unless they are truly dead inside. Let's hope that you are not one of those people, so give the video a like straight away if you're not. This car is a classic square-shaped box design. This is a dark kind of statement. Suzuki was deliberately designing this Jimny as a K car, so to speak, a term that is not many of us know about. At least I haven't known about it until watching this video. What it means is that it's kind of an aggregate term that in the nutshell indicates that a car is small enough because these ones did not require a special parking permit in residential areas of Japan. At the very least, it was the case when those cars were designed this kind of way. And everything would be awesome and very logical. Yeah, small car, no parking permit, much easier to handle, much easier to register, etc. If this baby off-roader also cost like half of what a properly sized SUV or Jeep costs. But as we know, Suzuki Jimny isn't shy on its own pricing, at least in Australia, where you first of all cannot find any available new ones anyway quickly enough in the current market, and secondly, the price last time I've checked was hovering somewhere in the ballpark of 45,000 Australian dollars, which I'm sure, unless you're a Jimny cultist, yes, cultist, not a club member, you would agree that is absolutely freaking ridiculous for a vehicle so tiny and so void of the modern creature comforts in 2023. Ilya proceeds to look here at the frontal suspension and the four-wheel drive enablement modules, with the most obvious thing demonstrated to us first and foremost, which is the fact that it is a classic front axle, like solid axle, and a rear axle off-roader on a frame. Here we see apparently a relatively recent addition to a Jimny model. Don't forget that this is a 2020 model that is being filmed here. It is an additional steering amortization arm that was not there before on the earlier Jimny models. Wheelbase of this off-roader is 4 centimeters wider compared to the earlier Jimny models, and how the wheels are fitted to the axle, it's all done in the same old good old classic Japanese technology way that Suzuki has chosen not to evolve. Any supporting mechanical parts here, such as the brake enablement mechanisms, are fitted to the top side of the wheel fitting so that the mud and the rocks don't affect these elements too much. It's not on the side, it's not underneath, it's at the very top, so clearly with a lot of thinking about heavy off-roading in mind. Another innovation here is the electric power steering, replacing the old generation of hydraulic steering that used to be used on the old models of Jimny. And Ilya also mentions that engine cooling fans, for example, are also now electric powered. Now we're witnessing what Klubniy Servis is known for and loved for the most by my viewer base. It is how they lift the bodies of the cars off the frame, which is a mechanical marvel really, and kind of the professionalism marvel to behold, and I personally never have enough of watching them do it. Here we see how Jimny's body looks from underneath, and Ilya points out straight away to us that there is nothing really remarkable about it. It's rather simplistic in a good sense of the word. There is no specific vibro insulation or corrosion protection sprays applied here at the factory level, but all the welding seams are very, very neat, and all elements that get bolted to one another are also made with very kind of perfect aesthetic Japanese level of precision. After this very short demo of an unremarkable but nicely built underbelly of Suzuki Jimny's little box where the driver and the passenger are supposed to enjoy their crazy rides through the mud, let's focus on the frame, engine and all the related mechanicals. Ilya says that the most noticeable difference of this Jimny 2020 model from the earlier models is that the frame has changed quite dramatically, almost completely. It's now larger, LOL, and wider, LOL double take, with this X-shaped reinforcement in the middle, which is stated, by the way, to have made the frame 1.2 to 2 times more solid and shock-proof. That's great. So what about the engine? Well, it's labeled as K15B model. This is a 1.5 Japanese-made 1.5-liter 4-cylinder petrol engine. Absolutely classic design system. Nothing fancy whatsoever. Ilya kind of walks around the engine pointing a variety of different really, really basic elements of it. There is an air compressor, there is a radiator, there is an electric generator, and the frame elements underneath that are supporting the engine so that the engine rests on them. There is a chain enabling the rotating momentum inside of the engine. It's not a belt-based system, it's a chain-based system, which apparently ensures that you don't need to replace it or worry about it for many, many years to come, compared to slightly softer assembled engines. Apparently the longevity of this is officially stated as 300,000 kilometers, but Ilya says that he has seen older models of Jimny that were still kicking around Russia and visiting his service center after 600,000 or even 800,000 kilometers. Can you imagine that? That sounds completely crazy, but let's not forget that it is Russia and Russian consumer that we're talking about here, and people don't change cars there that often, especially nice ones like this one, especially if they got it new or then it's second hands, it's third hands. Yeah. Transmission in Jimny is represented by a classic 4-speed automatic unit, mainly known for it not creating any problems for the owner. There is nothing else to write home about here. Once again, Ilya says that it's a very classic off-roader with 3 driving shafts, one from the transfer case to the rear axle, another one from the transfer case to the front axle, and the third one, obviously, from the main transmission box to the transfer case here. Ilya says that he doesn't know the exact specifications, but the fuel tank looks the same size to his eye as the older models of this car had, about 40 liters, but it is now made of plastic. Placement of the exhaust has changed a little bit, at least I understood it that way, and Ilya points out here that there is no like little door in the bottom of Jimny's body that would typically allow you to easily access the fuel pump if it needs to be serviced, fixed or replaced, and to access it you actually would need to physically take off the fuel tank first, and then you'll be able to do any of those operations. In case you ever wondered, try to do it yourself if you're a specialist, or ever wondered what your service center would suddenly charge you extra for. So summarizing this very short disassembly. It's a small video because it's a very small car and there is not all that much to say. Ilya points out yet again that Suzuki has kind of evolved Jimny a tiny bit in this 2020 model, mainly introducing a changed frame and a few electric powered rather than hydraulic powered elements, but overall it's the same good old tough little time proven and very off-road capable vehicle that Jimny is loved for by its own cultists. So Ilya says that the interior of Jimny 2020, that he's obviously not showing to us here or reviewing for us properly in this video, has changed a bit for the better. Obviously remaining very small, even without us seeing it. We have seen it kind of just in the first frames of this video at the beginning. But if you have a smaller frame yourself and do not have a large family to transport in this vehicle and are passionate about some real deep forest off-roading adventures where a smaller vehicle would present itself better than a massive heavy tank that would be potentially triple the size of this little car, you couldn't go wrong really picking Jimny for your needs, provided that you have the money to throw at this absurdly expensive, even if rather nice, toy. And this is it, my friends. It is a very short video. I hope you did enjoy it, because we are going for quality here rather than quantity. Give the video a like if you haven't already, subscribe for more videos from me. I review cars, I review essential car electronics, and I translate most important, most interesting things that resonate with me or are requested by my audience. So do leave a comment down below if you would like to be heard, or just wait for the next serving from me if you would like to remain silent. Both works for me, but one potentially works better for you. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you about something else next week.